think you're the right guy, to have a conversation about, because, I think that you've reached a point in your life where you're old, you're ready to hang it up soon, all of those things, and we need to hear from you before you kick off. So,
and they're off.
You finished at ASU, and how did you talk yourself into the real estate business? And
So,
what did you study as an undergrad?
Well, so you'll probably remember, but I graduated in May of '83, and when you think about your lucky breaks in your career path, I had a professor as my advisor in the real estate program at ASU in the business school, a guy named Chuck Myler, and he had experts from the industry come in. We met at the time back then, we met Dave Brown and Tom Cannell, and Bill came in, and Greg Kilfoyle, and all these people came in, and for 2 hours they talked about who they were, what they did, and how they got started. And it was amazing. I started with Bill at Grubb & Ellis in March of '83.
You guys at that time were the #1 team in the country. And I don't know precisely when that happened. I mean, was Bill already the #1 guy, or did you make him?
Depends on if you ask me or Bill. I spent 7 years working with Bill and for Bill. And what I lacked in structured training, I got daily from Bill. And Drew had said to me after the 1993 attempt, he said, hey, if you're ever going to work at DMB, you've said no twice, so there'd be a lot of begging involved. And so I called Drew and I said, I'm unemployed, let the begging begin. What happened at DMB is there was about 30 people then. It was mostly accounting. And I got in, and I was the only guy that had an MBA and had run a small company like Tally's. And it was just disarray at DMB. It was really confusing. And it turns out it was confused. And so I sat down with Drew and said, I'm not sure I want to work here. It's very weird and odd. And I listed a bunch of things, cultural things and whatnot. And he said, well, let me think about it. And he went away for about 4 or 5 days. He came in my office. He goes, I don't know how, but everything you've listed on this list is accurate, and it's disturbing to me, and we need to fix it, and you'll be on the executive team fixing it. Get in here, let's get to work. And so good for him, and great opportunity for me. So I take credit for growing the company and keeping the culture intact. If somebody says, what'd you really do there? I worked on great projects, and I ran the big partnership relationships, but mostly I grew the company and kept a great culture, which they did have, and made it better. And so it was a great run. And one of the local networking things I had done is a guy named Morgan Olson, who's my partner at ASU now, and his real estate guy, John Creer. And John called and said, you've been dogging me to hire you as a consultant, and I'm not going to. I don't even know how to do that at ASU. But stay by your phone today. And it was Catellus. How's that for a segue?
Good.
Yeah.
You're really good at this.
And so we struck a consulting deal. I spent the better part of 17 consulting for them, and then started full-time as a full-time employee in 18. I tell people today, if I could take Catellus, where I work today in DMB, put them in a blender and puree it, and then have one company at the end, it'd be amazingly creative and amazingly disciplined. And so anyway, it was fun.